Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. So over the last 3 years, I've been championing a lot of solosexual rights, right? So for example, I talk about injustices that I suffer at work and in our community at large. But you know what really drives me nuts? And this will drive me even more nuts than the nuclear families discriminating against the solosexuals. There's one more thing. There's one other group of people who drive me nuts. The solosexuals who don't want to band together and just want to fight the fight alone, right? So I got several colleagues who are closeted solosexuals. They won't admit to it, and they're just suffering in silence, and they won't speak up about it. And it's not just solosexuals that this can happen with, right? A lot of people have this. It's kind of like if there's next year we have an election. Imagine we had a really popular candidate that simply nobody showed up to vote for, right? Actually, that is our political system that we have. Ironically, it's the political party that really supports solosexuals that a lot of people don't show up to vote for. That's the unfortunate part, right? I know this because I lived in Missoula, Montana. I lived in Wallace, Idaho for some time. A huge solosexual population, many of them not so closeted. And of course, they either don't show up to vote or they don't want to waste their vote, quote unquote, waste their vote. The reality is they're wasting their vote by voting for somebody they don't support. That's the unfortunate part. But this is just a symptom of a greater problem. Here in the United States, we don't band together for anything. We like to suffer our own ways. We like to speak our own ways. And unfortunately, it's very ineffective at getting anything we want. And so at the end of the day, we're at each other instead of with each other. And that's why I'm strongly considering leaving the United States, right? I just had a great conversation with a Ukrainian refugee I met in Seattle, Washington last year. She has since returned to Ukraine, and I might think about visiting her during the Christmas season. And if it goes right, I'm checking out of the United States. Over in Ukraine, things would never go that way, right? People don't suffer in silence over there, right? Anyways, thought I would point this out. I live in a house with several roommates right now, but I may think about trying a different, similarly situated hostel to see. I can't. There's nothing wrong with that place right now. The one idiot that I was complaining about has left. The problem is the social dynamics of the place. Everybody just hides out in their own jail cell. When imagine this, right? Imagine the idea for how to make chemical element number 119 requires two people to collaborate, and they live together, but unfortunately they've closed off to each other. I wouldn't be surprised if chemical elements, if cures for cancer, if important AIs were stuck in a divide between two people who needed to collaborate, but they refused to talk to each other. I really wouldn't. There's probably a lot of great stuff out there. The cure for COVID-19 is probably locked away like that. I wouldn't be surprised at all.